I think one thing they get wrong is like that we're lazy. I think obviously there's lazy people in every generation and for one reason or another, but I think like with AI and new technology and things like that, maybe to the older generation doesn't quite understand it. They think like we're lazy and trying to find a way out when really we're just finding the most efficient way to get our things done. And I'm not
Right.
saying we should use AI for schoolwork or everything like that, but if there's a faster and easier way to get something done, I don't know
Yeah.
anyone who wouldn't want to do something the easiest way possible. So I think with all the new technology and the way we understand it better than most people, it's easy for older generation to think that we're being lazy or just looking for the easy way out when really
Yeah.
we're just maximizing the technologies and the things we have at our disposal
Yeah.
to get things done. All right, let's do it. I'm ready. I'm pumped.
Dude, welcome to another episode of the Selfish Show, where we talk about the self-ish, and then I selfishly ask questions of all of my good friends, just about life and the self and all kinds of things. And then on today's episode, we have Keenan LeBlanc. Thanks for being on the show, Keenan.
No problem.
Dude, have you ever done a podcast before?
This is my first podcast ever. I'm not sure what to do, but here we
Let's
go.
go. No, this will be great. You're awesome. It's not really even a podcast. Like I've done a bunch of episodes and I put it on YouTube and then I just take shorts from it and I post it, but I haven't set it up as a podcast yet, but I just call it a podcast because
Sure.
people understand it.
Yep.
Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Let's see. I just turned 21. I'm
Let's
going
go.
to
A
be
month ago?
a month ago. That's right. uh, I'm going to be a
Not today.
senior. Not today. Not today. Unlike somebody who thought that. I'm going to be a senior at Grace College doing pre-med for my undergrad Jewett degree. I'm getting married 1 month from yesterday. So that's
Let's
exciting.
go. Let's
To my
go.
wonderful fiance, Annabelle.
Yes.
She's the
And
best.
and the officiant of your wedding is super hot.
That's what I heard. I haven't met him, but I'm excited to see him for the first time. Sounds like a beast.
Well, he is. Well, that's pretty awesome, man. Well, the reason why I wanted to talk to you is because I've been having a lot of conversations with Gen Zers, just to kind of get their take on life and the self, and just get their perspective on things. Because Gen Zers are awesome. They are the coolest people around these days, but they get a bad rap sometimes. You know what I mean?
Good time, yeah.
like like Gen Zers are soft, Gen Zers can't handle their mental health. And really it's more that they have categories for their mental health, so they're more aware of it, but
Right.
it ends up looking like, these kids are soft and they don't know, they can't handle their stuff. And then like there's slackers. There's also like information out there that says that 22% of Gen Zers have worked. That's a whole bunch of Gen Zers that have never worked before. So not only do they need to learn the job that they get, but they also need to learn how to work.
Right.
And then Gen Zers take mental health days when they need to. Oh, I was looking at a post yesterday that like Gen Zers will get a job and then they'll ghost their employer and not even show up on their first day because they can't deal with it. You know what I mean?
Are you sure? I couldn't imagine that. Not even showing up on the first date. I
Yeah,
mean,
I mean,
sometimes they get the bad rap, they do it to themselves, unfortunately. We do it to ourselves.
so so the reason why I want to have this conversation with you is because I was talking to your dad and like he was telling me a little bit about your plans. You're getting married in a month, but then he was telling me about your plans for med school and all the things that you got to do about it. And I was like, man, this guy has it all. You got your life mapped out.
I'm
Now,
trying.
no, yeah, you're trying, but like at this point in your life, you have a plan. You have a plan, maybe 7, 8, 9 years from now. Like, I mean, you're
Right. Yeah.
set. Like you're on a trajectory, and you know exactly what it is that you're gonna do. You know how you're gonna pay for it. How like Gen Z is often stereotyped as aimless or indecisive, and they can't make decisions. And so that's part of the reason why I was like, I need to talk to Keenan because you're pretty forward thinking. To have like 8, 9, 10 years of your life already planned is pretty awesome. Like how do you respond to that stereotype that Gen Zers are pretty aimless and indecisive? Because clearly, in your case, you're not.
Sometimes I like with some of my friends even, I can see why people think that, kind of not being a forward thinker, but for me, I've always been a planner, like, I always like to know what I'm doing and why I'm gonna do it and, how I'm gonna spend my time. I try to make sure everything I do has a purpose and not like,
Uh-huh.
some crazy military down to the minute, but I like to make sure that I'm using my time wisely, and, I just don't enjoy not having an idea of what I'm doing or why I'm doing it. I just just try to know what I'm gonna do and make sure that it aligns with my goals. I set goals for myself and make sure that everything I'm doing, is aligning with those goals and kinda just goes from there.
Like, your generation is typically labeled as selfish, not in the way that we're using it in the show, but, like, just
Yeah, right.
selfish. Prioritizing their personal goals over the collective ones. But you're gonna go into medicine. You want to be a doctor. You want to help people out. Like, how do you balance your ambitious plans with caring about others or society? I mean, like it's very unselfish for you to think this way.
Right, I always try to put others first, and I kinda use my faith as a background being a Christian. I try to do, act like live like Jesus did, put others
Uh-huh.
first.
Uh-huh.
Kind of putting that in the forefront helps me decide how I'm gonna do and how I'm gonna treat other people. But also I just like to make sure that everything I'm doing, like I said, has a purpose, but also is gonna benefit my future wife, like I mentioned, getting married, and also my future family. Like with going into medicine, helping people, it's difficult, but knowing that the path now, the difficulties now will pay off in the long run kind of helps me keep going and keeps me on the right track to not be selfish and know that I'm doing it for more than myself,
Yeah.
putting in all this work.
No, dude, it's gonna be a lot of work.
Right. Like at the end of the day, like my relationships are what's more important. So like I'll be studying or working and then I just need to just stop and spend time with people because at the end of the day, like what's gonna matter in 10, 15 years, my relationships are gonna be the most important thing
Yeah.
that I have.
You're gonna be putting in a lot of work for
Yeah.
sure. I was talking to your dad about your plans, and he was like walking me, like, he can, well, proud dad over there.
Right. Yeah.
Like he was just walking me through your plan. Would you mind giving us big picture for your future? I mean, you said you're gonna be senior next year, but like walk us through your plan. And do you mind walking us through that?
Yeah, so I'm getting married in a month, and then after we get married, my wife and I will move. We have an apartment back up at school. We're both graduating this year, so we'll move in there, finish out the year, and then I'm applying to medical school now, actually.
Uh-huh.
So we'll see where I end up, and then we'll get our new place and go to medical school. But I'm also applying for a scholarship through the Navy, where
Uh-huh.
they'll pay for my medical school while also paying me through medical school for my housing and my food,
Man, that's gonna
my
be
car
awesome.
insurance. Yeah, so I'm actually going to make money by going to medical school.
Yeah.
Um, and then after medical school, wherever that ends
Wait,
up,
but you'll also be in the Navy. Well, and then it's an officer school because I was asking your dad, you don't have to go to basic training to do this?
nope. I have to go to officer training after my first year of medical school, which is just like, I mean, it's not all sunshine and rainbows, but it's not basic training. It's only 5 weeks, and it's in Portsmouth, Virginia, so it's a cool little beach town. So
Not in Chicago area
I
where
won't
it's
be crawling under any
freezing.
barbed wire through the mud or anything like that. It won't be so bad.
And then you'll go through med school with the Navy and then you'll do
Right.
residency.
Yeah, so I'll do residency through the Navy. I'll go to a naval hospital, which is either in San Diego,
Let's
or back in
go.
Portsmouth. Yeah, I know, close to you.
Let's
So
go.
it'll be one of those 2 places, and then after that, I owe them 4 years of payback is what they call it. That just means that
Yeah.
I work as a doctor in one of their hospitals, doing what I would do for normal people, just doing it for veterans and people in the armed
Mhm,
forces and their families, so
mhm.
not a bad gig at all. I just don't get to decide where I live, but Anna and I have talked, and that doesn't really bother us, so we're up for whatever.
I mean, but you also don't have like a $400,000 school bill at the end of this thing.
Right, yeah, walking away with no school bill, and even if I have to live in Kansas for a few years,
Yeah. No,
won't be
that's
so bad.
fantastic. Um, so can you just walk me through like how do you think uh your family, just the way that your mom and dad like kind of raised you, like how much of that like has really again, because this is not a typical for a Gen Z to have 10 years other
Right.
life planned out. Like, what was the impact that your parents had on helping you, helping you be ambitious, but also caring about others and just, be forward thinking?
I would say I got the ambition from my dad and the caring and planning from my mom. My dad's a lawyer, and he always talking about like working hard and doing what you need to do and trying to help yourself get ahead. Because like he would always go to work really early in the morning so he could be home
Yeah,
in the evening when we were little, and still
yeah,
now even.
yeah.
So seeing that like the ambition and the hard work, but then also my mom, like she's always been a planner, and we always have plans for. I mean, and I could tell you what we're gonna have for dinner a week from now. Like she's even so just knowing having the plan and knowing is something I've always enjoyed, so I've just tried to implement it into my life. So seeing the example they set for me has helped me, I mean, be a planner and be ambitious in what I'm trying to do.
So many Gen Zers are glued to social media, chasing trends, instant gratification. Like, how do you stay focused on long-term goals in a world that like is so distracting?
I actually, so I kinda got sucked into this myself for a little while, but I had to set pretty hard restrictions on my screen time. I had, my fiancé set the password, so I get 30 minutes a day on Instagram or whatever it is, so I but that way I just knew I needed something needed to change, and I just
Oh,
was like, let's do this so I can stop and, like I
yeah,
said, make sure the things that I'm doing are useful and not just
yeah,
scrolling because it's easy to get sucked into it. And luckily, I've never been a big video gamer. A lot of
yeah,
my friends are big gamers. I've never
uh,
really,
yeah.
so that's helped me out. But yeah, the Instagram Reels and the TikTok, they'll suck you in. So
They could
I had
suck you
to
in.
I had to limit myself on those.
Oh, let's go, Anna.
Yeah,
Come on.
seriously, coming in clutch.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
What's one thing you think older generations get totally wrong about Gen Z, and how does and how does your life plan challenge that misconception? Obviously, like that's the whole thing that we're talking about, that you have things planned, but do you have any other insights that you think older generations get wrong about Gen Z?
I think one thing they get wrong is like that we're lazy. I think obviously there's lazy people in every generation and
Yeah.
for one reason or another, but I think like with AI and new technologies and things like that, maybe to the older generation doesn't quite understand it. They think like we're lazy and trying to find a way out when really we're just finding the most efficient way to get our things done. And I'm not
Right?
saying we should use AI for schoolwork or everything like that, but if there's a faster and easier way to get something done, I don't know
Yeah,
anyone who wouldn't want to do something the easiest way possible. So I think with all the new technology and the way we understand it better than most people, it's easy for older generation to think that we're being lazy or just looking for the easy way out when really
yeah,
we're just maximizing the technologies and the things we have at our disposal
yeah.
to get things done.
Yeah, and I think Gen Zers, the next generation, they think digitally about stuff, and so
Right.
you guys think differently about problems. You think differently about your future. You just think differently than we do because we didn't have the tools.
Right. It's all
But
we've ever known. I mean, we've grown up with it. So it's like when something big and new in technology comes, it's not that much of a change for us to figure it out and learn it. Whereas for some older people, it takes a little bit more time or they just give up and don't even try.
that's awesome. So Gen Z is often called out for being risk averse and overly cautious. Have you taken any big risks to build this vision of your future, and how did you push past fear or doubt?
I would say a big risk I took was for medical school. Most people take there's the big MCAT, which is like the
Yeah,
medical college admissions test.
yeah,
And most of people and all my friends are taking it in May or June. But I decided to study early before I finished all my prerequisite classes actually, or the recommended classes, and
yeah.
took it in beginning of March to get it done because I'm also on the baseball team at Grace, so I wanted to be able to enjoy the baseball season, not have to study for that, but also so I can enjoy um, this part of the summer before the wedding, not having to scramble to study and take it and enjoy
Yeah,
wedding planning and just being engaged. So I think that was a big risk because, like I said, I hadn't even finished all the recommended classes yet, and I was studying earlier than most people,
everybody.
just trying to get it done. But it ended up working out, and I'm thankful for it now. But that,
Yeah.
yeah, a lot of
It w
people question my thought process there.
is, man, I'm wondering if getting married, like, early, you know what I
Mhm.
mean?
Yeah,
Are a lot of your friends getting married, there's no right or wrong
right,
early or
right.
late time to get married, but, like, you guys are getting married pretty young, like, maybe put this in the risk category. Like, would
Yeah.
you see it as a risk? I mean, I know Anna, and she's pretty awesome, and we already
Yeah, she's
can
awesome.
tell that your life's gonna be better because of her. But like maybe it's not a risk. But are your do you have any other friends that are kind of doing the same thing, like getting married and like this
Yeah,
young?
right. We actually have a wedding for one of our friends every weekend until ours, um, which is kind of funny. Yeah, but most of them are older, like my friends on the baseball team who are 22, 23. So yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
Anna's not even 20 yet. She turns 20 in a week and a half.
Oh
We've
shoot.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, she'll be 20 but she will be 20. But
Fresh 20, yeah. But
I
we've
mean,
gotten some.
she's 20, but like she's really like 30 years old, like,
Right. She knows what she's doing.
as far as like, how smart
Right.
she is.
She's actually graduating in 2.5 years from college. She's graduating before me in December. So yeah, she's awesome.
She's a planner for sure. But
Seriously. But
but it's not, so you don't see it as a risk.
whenever you asked me the question at first, I didn't even think of that as an option to be a risk. Like I don't, I some people like some of my friends not from Grace, more yeah, other friends have seen it more as a risk and kind of question me a little bit. But everyone else that's been around us more and I mean just knows us hasn't really no. So I don't see it as a risk. I mean maybe some people do financially possibly,
Yeah.
but
But you have a bunch of friends that are also getting married around,
yeah we
like
have yeah
that's pretty
One
awesome.
Anna's best friend's getting married. One of her best friends is getting married next Saturday. We have another one in January for our friends. Like they're all getting married. All the ones that are dating are getting married.
Yeah. Well, your peers might say planning too much kills spontaneity. This is a trait that Gen Z is known for. How do you make room for flexibility and fun in your structured life? Because, like you were saying, you had to plan your MCATs, you had to plan so that you could have free time to,
Right.
enjoy this wedding season. Like, or maybe that's just your take on it. You know what I mean? You don't even see it as like too structured. It's just like what you got to do. Like
Yeah.
Gen Z is pretty known for the spontaneity. So would you say you're not Gen Z in that way?
I would definitely more of a planner than all my friends, but I try to be spontaneous when I can. Like just for example, the second to last weekend we were at school, I was just sitting at lunch after church on Sunday, with some of my friends, and we saw like a commercial for the Cubs game that evening, and we
And you
just
guys
like bought
went,
tickets and drove to Chicago and went. Yeah, we
hey,
were like, why not? So
yeah,
like things like that, yeah, I'll be spontaneous with, but I would say comparatively, probably not. But I don't think it's a necessarily bad thing. That's just who I am. But like I said, when I can, if I can plan things out to open up my schedule to be able to be spontaneous, that's what I like
yeah,
best, which is kind of what I've done for this summer.
which is gonna be good for med school. I mean,
Right.
you're gonna be studying, and man, I'm so excited for you and your plan. What's the biggest obstacle you think for sticking to your plan, and how do you handle setbacks when the world expects Gen Z to like not show up to things and wing it? Like
Right.
what do you think the biggest obstacle will be for sticking to your plan?
The biggest obstacle I faced, especially this year, was just all of the work that I have to put in. And like when I was taking classes, but also studying for the MCAT, like December, January, February, it was really difficult, like seeing my friends who were different majors not having to do, I mean,
Yeah,
not even homework at all. Like it was just like, why am I doing this? Like this is annoying. This is stupid. I'm getting frustrated that I have to put in all this work. But then it's like,
yeah,
well, like just keeping my mind focused on the goal, knowing that it's all going to be worth it eventually.
yeah.
But yeah, it's definitely frustrating seeing how some people, I mean, just don't do as much work as I do. But that's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just the path that I've chosen, and I remind myself of that too. Like this is what I chose, and it's going to be awesome eventually. But this is just the steps that I need to take to get there.
Yeah, even when you were in high school, like I know you were working hard even in high school. How long have you had uh the plan to go into med school?
Um, I would say probably high school, maybe
Yeah.
end of middle school. I mean, it's pretty much the only career I've put much consideration into. For better or for worse, it's really all I've thought. So
Well,
yeah, it's been a while.
if you could give one piece of advice to other Gen Zers who feel lost or pressured by the selfish label, like what would it, what would it be to help them find direction like you have? Like how would you encourage another Gen Zer?
I would say just find what you enjoy and what brings you gratification, whatever it is, and then just do it. Like even if it's something that no one else wants to do, or if it's something that everyone else wants to do, just give your best effort and show up and show out and just do it to your best. Like, you never know what's gonna happen. You never know who you're gonna meet, who you're gonna work for, what you're gonna end up doing, and also just don't be afraid to try stuff. Like, if you try something and you hate it, there's nothing wrong with that. Like, you just learn more about yourself and you're gonna learn valuable traits no matter what. So I would say just treat everyone like they're the most important person that you're coming into contact with. You never know what's gonna happen. But also, like, don't be in a rush. Like, if you hate your job or something, when you just started, like, don't be in a rush to find the next thing. Like, maybe see it out a little bit. Don't always try to be rushing to the next thing. Like, just enjoy where you're at as much as you can, and then truly, if you need a change of scenery, a different job, if in that circumstance, then maybe that's the case for you. But just find what you love and do it, and then don't be in a rush. Just enjoy the life and the moments that you have.
Man, I mean, that's just such wise words, my friend.
It's my best
Oh,
advice right there.
it's awesome, man. Like, I'm so excited for you and your future and for officiating your wedding. Man, I'm
That's
so
right.
excited to see you guys to be out there and just hang out with the fam. Do you have any other friends that are gonna go to med school, or is this like a by you're doing this by yourself? You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's another guy on the baseball team that's my grade that's also wanting to go to medical school. So we kind of, I didn't know him before college, but we became friends through baseball and through classes and stuff. Yeah, and then I have a buddy who's doing a PA school, similar. It's like we took classes, a lot of similar classes as well. But no, not really.
But I mean, it helps to have like somebody like that knows like the work and
Right. Like they get it, especially with the guy that's on the baseball team. Like, he gets it, and it's nice to just hang out with him and interact, like, in class, but also in baseball and then studying together. It's we kind of built a good little relationship over trauma, our all our trauma, if you will.
oh man, well I'm really excited for you. What can I ask what schools you're applying to?
Applying to like 15 or so. Yeah, I'm just gonna send them out and see what happens. My dream school is Vanderbilt, down in Nashville, but also Duke, University of North Carolina, NC
Yeah.
State, Florida Atlantic, Wake Forest, Ohio State, kind of just all sorts of, like, southeastern schools for the most part.
Yeah. No, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, so
Man, I remember you came out to Carlsbad for your, checking out of college. Like, I
right,
mean,
yeah.
when you're a senior in high school, and that just doesn't seem like that long ago. And
Oh,
now
yeah,
you're
that
like,
was so long ago.
yeah, I mean, but it
To
doesn't.
me, yeah.
To me, it just seemed like, well, that was like last year. But like now you're talking about med school and gonna
Here
get
we are.
married in a month. Oh,
Yeah,
dude, I'm just so excited for you. Well, thank
it's going
you.
quickly.
Thank you for spending some time with me, man, and just sharing some knowledge and some input. Like honestly, like you are just such an inspiration, and it's really awesome to see you growing. It's really awesome to see that you got your life and plan together. And I'm just, man, I'm just really excited for you and for Anna and just for your future. And and I'm really sad for
Yeah, he'll need lots of care and affection when you come see him for the wedding. The day after, he'll need a hug for sure.
oh my gosh, that guy. He's awesome. Well, thank you for being on the show, my friend. Maybe we'll have to do
Yeah,
this
thank
again.
you.
All right.